Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Raj Rodriguez channel. And guys, we are back at it with another episode of Hidden Gems, where we go around looking at different toy stores and collectible shops here in Texas. And we are here in Del Rio, Texas, checking out Haven's Toys and Collectibles. So let's go inside and check it out. Right as you walk through the doors, it is a collector's paradise. From left to right, you're greeted with pretty much everything a collector needs in his life, from video games to comic books, collectibles, and so much more. Check out the first display case. He had a bunch of the handheld Nintendo games from DS to 3DS, Game Boy Advance, and so much more. He also had a bunch of classic titles from the N64 and the NES. Really awesome stuff. On the wall, he had a huge selection of these classic Ninja Turtles, and it was really cool seeing that, and a bunch of the modern collection stuff like NECA, and some of the pop figures up here on this shelf. And on the right hand side, I came across this massive collection of comic books. They were neatly organized and had everything from Marvel, DC, and so much more. And on the wall, he displayed some of the more rarer covers. And above the comic books were a bunch of really awesome movie posters, but one of them took the cake. It was this amazing Episode 1 tapestry featuring young Skywalker. You can see the stamping right there. Oh, it was so breathtaking. And then right below it was another display case with a bunch of action figures. I came across this Captain Rex right there from the Black series, and there's a few other ones as well. And then in the middle of the store, he did have a bunch of retro consoles that were ready to play, and this one with Super Smash Bros. Brawl definitely caught my attention. And then over here near the back, I did see a few other display cases featuring some classic titles. This one, however, did have a few titles from the Sega Genesis. The other one had a bit more of the PlayStation side, but there's still a good assortment, as you can see right there. And over here, he had a huge selection of Star Wars collectibles and some of the figures. I saw this Saga Collection Cody. There was a Barriss Offee from the Vintage Collection right here. This Clone Trooper. These Microfighters I've never seen before. There was this first edition Yoda from the Clone Wars. And this really awesome classic Vader set from Revenge of the Sith. And then over here, he did have a few manga. He had My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, One Piece, and then he also had a bunch of vintage shirts. The Wolfman one definitely caught my attention. Love the design, but nothing beats Halloween 3, my all-time favorite horror film. So yeah, that was my time at Haven's Toys and Collectibles, and like you guys saw in the clips, it was everything that you'd expect and more. Especially with the amount of variety that he had when it came to his collectibles. He had pretty much every comic book that you could possibly want, video game from every system, and the figurines and other collectibles were, by the dozen. But overall, I had a blast checking out his store. He had, a wide collection of everything, pretty much. When it comes to comic books, he has every genre. Video games, he has pretty much every genre as well. So it's not your typical, oh, you're gonna go in there and just find the bare minimum. He, goes above and beyond to try and please every type of collector out there, and that's what I like. Paul, the owner, he would go around and he, talk with us, and that's something I really liked. Is he would bring up a conversation, get to know the customer like us. And that's one thing that he did bring up was we noticed that he didn't have a specific area to pay out, and he mentioned that. So I kind of liked how he worded it, and he got to explain that knowing the customer was a priority of his. So, getting to chat with them, learn what they're collecting and things like that was something that he got to, bring up when he was with the customer. And I kind of liked that because you're going off and bouncing off ideas, sharing your passion for collecting, and that's something that you don't really get to see in other toy stores. And I really liked the way that he, was pricing things as well. It wasn't crazy expensive unless it was something that was very rare or hard to get, then it's understandable. But the prices were reasonable. That's what I liked. And that's not the only thing. A little bit of information about the owner. Paul does many things around the Del Rio area. One being that he does occasionally run the Del Rio Comic Con, which we have gone to prior. It was when they were doing like the Finds of Freddy's actors at the time during Halloween. But I thought it was really cool that he's able to also bring up the community in another way, which is a Comic Con. And another thing he brought up, which was really cool, besides running the toy store and things like that, he also occasionally does ghost hunting, which is something that you wouldn't expect. But yeah, I'll be sure to, leave the information like on his Facebook page and things like that down in the description below, so you can go check out that part of it. And a lot of the time, I'm gonna be putting the links to his Facebook and different handles, so you guys can go reach out to him. But it's really cool getting to see that he has a passion for ghost hunting. And then, real cool, he did share a few other facts about his store. Um, One being the name behind it, and that it is named after his daughter, which is really cool. It's a neat little fun fact about, how it came to be. And then the other fun fact is he used to be like in partners with another business, which is now separate, but it's still in the same block. Unfortunately, I didn't get to, record it because it was closed at the time, but it's Draculina's. And that's another toy store, like collectible area that used to be partners with him. And the store looked amazing from the outside. It was, you could see inside the windows. And she prioritizes in a lot of TCG. And it's really neat getting to see that both stores eventually became two separate things, but it would have been kind of interesting to see Draculina's and Haven's at the same time in person. But yes, for sure, I do want to go back eventually, probably in the near future, to go and check out Draculina's as well. But besides that, Haven's was amazing, and I highly recommend if you're in the area or if you're gonna swing down at Del Rio once in a while, please go and check them out. Of course, I do share the address and location of where you can find the store, but overall, it was a blast checking him out, and I hope you guys had the same exact feeling I did when I went and visited him. And of course, while I was there, I had to pick up something. So, thanks to my brother, he bought me this awesome X-Men Blood Hunt comic, and the cover is what caught my attention because it's done by Peach Momoko. And that name may sound familiar to you. She is a well known artist and a talented one at that. She does a lot of covers for Marvel, but recently she did manage to get her name out in the One Piece TCG. So, yeah, her art style is very nice. It's sort of like this watercolor, sort of like vibrant style. And this cover features Psylocke. And my brother also managed to get the other one, which was featuring Jubilee. And that pretty much wraps up this video. I'm so happy that I was able to, record this episode of Hidden Gems. Haven't done one in a while, and I want to give a huge shout out to Paul. Thank you so much, sir, for letting me review your store. And hopefully in the near future, I can go and swing by again. But besides that, hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. And I'll catch you all on the next one. Bye, guys.